Hey guys, welcome back to another Warframe video where today we are going to be talking about disruption missions. So one of my clanmates asked me to make this video, so I was more than happy to do that, and I'm going to be showing off the build that I have been using in my Warframe Done Efficiently series. This is my Vault Speed build. I think I've probably showed it off before somewhere, but in this context it's slightly different. So yeah, we're going to run through what I'm using for this. And then, yeah, we'll hop into a quick Steel Path Disruption mission just to show how powerful these kind of combinations are. So right off the bat, this Vault build is incredibly expensive. You do not need to have it at this level. On my account, Vault is by far and away the frame that I've invested the most time into because I'm an eidolon hunter, so I like to have my Vault at peak performance. So yeah, we'll run through the build. I also want to give a quick shout out to other frames such as Oberon, Wisp. You know, there's quite a few that you can run on this mission type, and it be just incredibly easy to do. Oberon, for example, his first ability pairs very well with Zarta's Whisper, which is what we are actually using on our Vault right here for just insane damage. So if you have Zarta's Whisper on and you shoot a target, then a magnetic bubble appears around the target to attract bullets towards it. That also works with Oberon's first ability, Smite, where all the orbs from Oberon's Smite get attracted towards the target. And since Oberon's Smite does percentage health damage, you can probably imagine that with a few extra mods and bits and bobs on there, you can essentially just one-shot Steel Path Demolisher units with Oberon's Smite. But the reason I'm using Vault is because he's very quick and he can deal out, you know, an insane amount of damage anyway. So that's why we're using Vault and we're not using another frame. And I am going to be doing this on solo during this guide video just so that I can explain what's going on and I don't have publics running around. But if you did want to play in a squad, you will obviously be able to do disruption missions way faster because you can set up across the map and you can kind of start to figure out where the enemy spawn points are and cover them accordingly. But yeah, let's run through the build. So I am using 3 Archon shards here on Crimson, all on ability strength, 2 of which are Tau Forged. I then have a Tau Forged casting speed shard and a Tau Forged armor shard for extra endurance. If we take a look at our build, I'm using 2 Umbral Former. This is giving me a max strength of 371%. Now, I would recommend having a strength of upwards of kind of 250 if you can. That would be probably enough to at least, you know, replicate what you see in this video. And then I'm running Energize and Guardian as my arcanes. Guardian for extra endurance, Energize to keep my energy pool up nice and high. I've also got Shock Trooper on to augment my first ability to give me an extra 371% extra electric damage. And then, as I said, I'm running Zarta's Whisper here for that insane damage proc using the Incarnon weapons. So I'm going to be using the Felarx during this, and we'll hop onto that build now. So for the Felarx, I've actually been running this build recently, and for disruption missions, it's kind of fun, I think. It's a no Riven mod, 2 Former build. You can easily make this a lot better if you wanted to. You know, I haven't got something like... I haven't even got Prime Charge Shell actually on here, I don't think. No. So you can improve this build a great deal, but I've gone ahead and put Chilling Reload on. Reason being that Primary Frostbite does give extra multi-shot here. Now, there is an interesting interaction with multi-shot and Zarta's Whisper, where if you get it between 2 and 3, 100% multi-shot, whatever it is, it will actually count as 4. I'm not totally sure on the mechanics of it. Perhaps someone can explain down in the comments below. But from my understanding, it's probably not going to work with shotguns anyway. But yeah, I've gone ahead, I've put Cold on here to act as Primary Frostbite to give us some extra multi-shot. I know it gives crit damage as well, and we don't really need crit damage on this build. But the multi-shot does help a lot with the Felarx, which is what we're using here. So that's the build for that, and that's what I'm going to be using to take down the Demolisher units. Laetum, again, another very useful tool. This is a 3 Former build. You can get this much better as well. You can put Prime Heated Charge on. Magnum, whatever it is, I can't remember the name of it. You can up this build greatly, so bear that in mind. We're not going to be using that all that much, though, to be honest, so I'll leave that be. And then on the Plague Kripath here, I'm running Exodia Contagion. I do want to point out that... actually, I can stop that out now. I do want to point out that for Steel Path Disruption, this really doesn't work all that well. I would recommend using Exodia Contagion for non-Steel Path because it does basically just one-shot anything. So yeah, bear that in mind. So we're probably not going to be using this all that much during this guide, but it is a very useful tool for dealing with Demolisher units. I'm then running Unairu on my focus tree. Now, Unairu has an ability called Caustic Strike, which strips enemy armor to 100%. Now, a lot of people like to use Ash and his kunai, or whatever they are, the throwing stars, to strip enemy armor. And that's great, that's fine. But the difference between using Caustic Strike and Ash's abilities to strip armor is that Caustic Strike permanently strips armor. So when the Nullifier does its magnetic kind of red, flare that resets itself, it will still not have its armor. So unlike Ash, where you throw your blades and it strips the armor, and then the Demolisher unit resets itself, this just permanently strips the armor completely, and you don't have to worry about it again. So that's why we're using that, and we're also using it for poise so that we don't get knocked down or staggered by anything. It's very useful. So yeah, Unairu, definitely a good tool to be using. For our pet, I'm using Worm Prime, but I'm fully expecting Worm Prime to just die. I've got Negate on here, which is the primary reason for running this. It's going to give me, or prevent status effects from applying every 5 seconds. Then Vacuum, Regen, and Enhanced Vitality. If you wanted to put a Orokin Catalyst on here, you could also slot Primed Animal Instinct on for some enemy radar. That's perfectly acceptable. And then, yeah, that's kind of it, really, actually, for this build. You can use an on-call crewmate as well to help you clear out some enemies. That's also an option. But what we'll do, I think, we'll just jump straight into an example run. So let's go ahead. We'll do one round of Steel Path Disruption on Apollo Lure, since that's the one that people tend to go for. It's a very good mission for farming Axii Relics. So, if you can get an Axii Relic on solo every, 3 minutes or whatever, then it's pretty decent. And in a squad, you can get this down to sort of, sub 2 minute levels if you're very efficient. So it's very good. But yeah, let's go ahead, guys, and get this going. I'll get ourselves a Demolisher spawned in, and then we'll take a look at the combination of abilities that we're using here. Alright, so we've got our Demolish unit down here. Let's activate our abilities. Use Unairu to strip the armor. And there we go, nice and easy. If I'd hit all my pellets on the first shot there, it would have been an insta-kill, but, we'll roll with it. So what we'll do, guys, we'll just repeat this process over and over until we've cleaned out all the enemies. And we'll see how fast we can do 4 waves on solo on Steel Path. Alright, guys, so this is the last one right here. We got him over here, it seems. Let's go ahead and get our abilities active again. I keep forgetting I don't have Vigorous Swap on. But there we go. So 4 minutes about, I'd say, for that. So not too shabby. Let's get out. And there we go. So 4 Demolishers killed, 1 Axii Relic, 4 minutes, 24 seconds. Now obviously you can keep going for pretty much as long as you want with this setup. So the time becomes more efficient because obviously we spent, a minute at the start of that actually getting ready. And, getting to the consoles, finding our first key, etc, etc, etc. It does take a while to set up, so yeah, if you want to keep going, it does get more efficient as you go on. But yeah, let's kind of just round out the video here. I just want to say at this point that there's a few other tools that you can use. So Vigorous Swap, as you heard me mention there at the end, you can put that on your Vault somewhere. I'm quite comfortable with my Vault and the amount of damage that I've got on there, but perhaps you could swap Streamline out if you wanted to, because if you've got energy pads and you're happy to use them, then efficiency doesn't matter all that much to you. So, Vigorous Swap could happily sit in there. And then also, I don't have it on this account, but if you do happen to have access on your operator to, let's see, what's it called? Magus Lockdown? Yeah. Oh, I have 8 of them, so I did buy a few. But essentially what this does is it tethers the Demolisher unit in place for 4 seconds, which will allow you to line up a shot on it quite nicely. It also tethers enemies around you as well for a bit of crowd control, so that's a nice useful tool that you can use as well. But yeah, I think that's really all I wanted to do for this episode, or this video, sorry, not this episode. So if you guys have your own kind of methods for running disruption missions, then do let me know down in the comments below if you know any tips and tricks on how to make it faster, or any nice little ability combos that you use, then yeah, let me know. I'd be happy to read through those and respond. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. I'll see you later, guys.